Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Subs podcast, hosted by Harish and Narv. We're coming with another video this week. The podcast where two brothers talk all things footy, drop takes hotter than a manager's seat after a five-game slump, or if you're coaching United, and discuss who deserves our prestigious award of Super Sub of the Week. It's football talk that feels like you're right here with us in the room. So lace up your boots and let's get underway. Let's go back to where we started. Who's your super sub of the week?
Season is officially back when we got super subs going.
Yep.
Um, I will say for me, super sub of the week is Rodrigo Muniz for Fulham. I was on a 100% Brighton hate watch this weekend and will be on a Brighton hate watch this entire season. So, week one of Brighton hate watch was extremely successful as they suffered a last minute heartbreak because of Mimini's goal.
Uh man, that's you're down bad, as a United fan when you're hate watching Brighton. Um
Uh,
for me it's Fede Chiesa for Liverpool. It looked like they were gonna leave with a draw, the opening fixture, but he came in, scored pretty quickly. Pretty
that was a techie
good
finish.
good tech, yeah. Um,
That
so
knee slide was epic too. The hair
oh yeah,
flow and just perfect.
yeah. So for me, that's my super sub of the week.
Nice. All seriousness too, Muniz, that was a good finish. And he came on for, I think it was a tough season last year, and there were rumors of him kind of getting fizzled out, maybe getting transferred. Just because Fulham, they kind of haven't really spent much at all, so they're trying to get some transfer money for him. I think with the whole Isak situation, like potentially the Newcastle, but yeah, he came on and made great impact. So.
hmm So we'll jump into four different games that we'll cover, and then we'll end it with kind of games to watch as well, the following week. So the first one we'll start off with is from Friday, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, the Premier League opener. It was an exciting one. Liverpool went up 2-0. Bournemouth surprisingly looked like the better team throughout though, and Semenyo, a fan from Liverpool, kind of boiled him up, got him fired up, scoring a brace and tying it up 2-2. But then Liverpool ended up getting a goal from Chiesa, like I said, as soon as he came on, and then Salah kind of capping it off, so to win it 4-2. Uh, so I'll give my a couple of my takeaways, and Nar, feel free to jump in. But for me, I was surprised by. I think Bournemouth will do decent still, even with so many losses. But I was surprised by how well their defense looked. I mean, Hoyson, uh, Zabrani, and Kirkes all gone, and I mean they went to Madrid, PSG, and Liverpool respectively for a combined like 150 mil. So I mean, that's a lot of key players, but I think they look pretty good. Yeah, they conceded four. I feel like a couple were pretty lucky, especially that opening goal. Um, and then the defender from Lille,
Diakite.
Diakite, he really stood out for me. I thought he looked really good. So Bournemouth, I think they'll be pretty good this year.
Yeah, I think so too. They looked really good. To your point, I thought they were the better team throughout the entire match. And even like they didn't have a few of their like key players like Clivert was hurt. Um, Ryan Christie was hurt, so they didn't even get a play. To your point, that Ekitike goal, I mean, that was kind of he got fortunate with the Senesi kind of just ricocheting off. I thought Salah was quiet. Um, Bournemouth, even their replacement for Kirk as Truffert from Rennes, I thought he had a pretty good match, that left back.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, he's not like Kirk has profile, but like his crosses were still really good.
Yeah, I think Kirkhez was like more of that workhorse, can really get up and down. Whereas this one, I think he's more of pure defending instincts. But I mean, to your point, he had good deliveries.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought David Brooks had a really good game too. I know Semenyo gets the headlines deservedly with his goals, but I thought David Brooks, he played a really key role for Bournemouth as well.
Hmm. And I think on Liverpool's side, on the flip side, their defense looked a little vulnerable, understandably, with just Frimpong and Kirkez, how much they love to bomb forward. I do think Kanate had somewhat of a poor game to his
He was
standards.
thinking about his transfer links to Madrid the entire match.
I don't know if maybe he's injured too. He just looked off.
Yeah, he looked like he was not in the game.
I
Another
do,
player who looked like he was out of the game was their 150 million signing. I know it's first game, but
yeah,
Wirtz looked like it was like the Lenny Euros game versus Southampton, like the welcome to the league moment.
yeah, he just wasn't doing anything really. I mean, it's not he had a poor game, but he made zero contribution to the game.
Yeah, he was a passenger.
Um, I know a lot of people were saying like Liverpool, their depth might be a concern, especially with like their A team is really good, but the depth, um, especially with Gravenberch. But I think Soboslai, what did you think of him? I thought he slotted in pretty well in Gravenberch's role.
Yeah, but I don't think he did it as well as Gravenberch. I don't think he can be relied. Because I think Gravenberch was really taking on that defensive responsibilities to his own, whereas Szoboszlai, like he can fray away from that at times. Because he kind of has the box to box instincts of like wanting to go forward.
Yeah, I do think he's better kind of playing a little forward. Liverpool missed that, I think, a little with Soboslai was always the guy pressing pretty high up,
Yeah,
like you're saying. But I think he is pretty press resistance like Gravenberch. But yeah, to your point, that second goal by Semenyo, kind of coming through the middle was, yeah, if Gravenberch was there, he might have disrupted the play.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, so I was actually surprised. Like, I know we're talking about this game, but like Semenyo, like that man, impressive. He was one I think Arsenal should have got instead of like Madueke if they wanted to spend the 50 plus million, because I think he could have been in that same price range. Because the way he like kind of took control of that game on his own was impressive.
And he, like, obviously he's left-footed, but he doesn't really have a weak foot. His right is
Mm-mm.
equally as strong.
Yeah. Now, what did you think of your boy from Chelsea in goal? I think that Gapco goal uh, could have been. It wasn't the most power of shot. I know he placed it well, but it looked like it was kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I think he looked decent. I do think he's a good player for Bournemouth, but I'm so shocked that they paid 30 mil for him.
In terms of overprice.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think that's a lot of money for a goalkeeper. But I don't know. I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah, I thought it was just really the Gapco one that could have been saved, but and then Salah, I thought he was pretty quiet throughout. His rating I know kind of goes up just because like he gets the goal, but I think throughout the game he was pretty quiet.
Yeah, he was. It'll be interesting to see how this team evolves.
Hmm.
Because I felt like a lot of the Liverpool threat was coming from the left side,
Yeah.
and the way Ekitike and Gakpo were linking up, I think Ekitike likes to come from the left.
Mm.
It just seems like, and especially when he had at Frankfurt too, it seemed like that. So and it leaves Salah kind of isolated at times, and he had such a good relationship with Trent. So I think maybe it just takes time with him and Frimpong, but hopefully Wirtz can also help Salah out a little because he seemed a little isolated.
Yeah, and Frimpong, the way he makes his runs definitely different from Trent, so like kind of takes up that space Mo would kind of be in.
Mo.
Yeah, I just called him on a first name basis.
Mo.
And then just the last point I want to touch on was Ikatike. I know we said he's kind of raw still, but even from the Community Shield, we saw glimpses of it. Like his link up play is really nice, like the little flicks and like he really knows like his players well, like timing his runs, timing his flicks and stuff. Like it's pretty impressive his link up play for sure.
He really reminds me of Firmino,
Mm,
um, like kind of the flicks, like you're saying, and he just
yeah,
kind of like sees the game pretty early.
exactly. Yeah. Um, and then this game, obviously, it was chills. Like when Salah scored, when he did the Diego Jota chomp, and then after the game, when they were like singing his song, and then Salah was like crying. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But uh, good start to Liverpool. First win of the year versus a tricky opponent in Bournemouth, who lost a lot of key players, but still a really good side. Um, you have any other points, or you want to move on to the Saturday's first game?
Yeah, let's go to Saturday's opener. Honestly, this could have put me back to sleep.
Yeah, it's kind of
Newcastle
disappointing.
Villa. I just felt like it lacked quality, to be honest.
I thought Newcastle looked the better team though.
Especially that first
Villa's,
half.
yeah, first half for sure. I think, I mean, obviously having Isak, he could have put a few chances away. Gordon doesn't really have that instinct of a striker. It's no fault to him, but
I do not want to see Gordon as a striker again.
yeah, it takes away his capabilities. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Um, who's that dude? Usula.
Asula?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't start. I know his Euros under 21. He had a really good Euro with Denmark. So yeah, he came off the bench, but Gordon just he didn't look comfortable in that striker role.
Yeah, you could
Oh.
definitely see the like lack of having a proper striker,
Mhm.
especially Isak, but
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing because that with Isak, that front three would have been electric. Because we saw Elongo almost got his debut goal. I think he could
mhm.
have, if he wasn't selfish, could have just squared it. But I thought he had a really good debut as well. And Villa just on the flip side of it, just lacking quality. Ollie Watkins kind of looked off the pace a bit. Um, I think the only player that was really doing anything for Villa on the attack was Morgan Rogers, kind of like starting the attacks. But other than that, Villa just they look dry.
Yeah, I think Villa second half looked a little better, but things did change like what 15, 20 minutes in when Konsa got that red card.
Hmm.
Um, I think another player you could maybe give a shout out to for Villa is Boubacar Kamara when he kind of dropped in to play center back. I thought he looked pretty good, but yeah, other than that, just Villa looked the quality just wasn't there.
Yeah, there wasn't much to really touch on to your point. Could have been one where I would have been glad just getting some extra sleep for that game.
Oh yeah. And it's crazy just like the huge change in emotions from Newcastle fans. Like people were legit got like Isak tattoos after they won the trophy and last year and they were like hailing him as like their king and stuff and then to
Had a
now
tifo and everything for him. Like,
yeah. And then now they're like saying some crazy calling him crazy names and some crazy chants about him. So like I can't imagine going from like he's like your hero to like absolutely vilifying him now.
yeah, it's like that song from Metro Boomin, The Weekend. Oh, what's that song? It'll come to me later. But yeah, Isak, man, drama king. Um, and that was disappointing because that was like I thought going to be the best game of the weekend, or of Saturday. So
Hmm.
you want to move on to Sunday, or were there any other games you wanted to touch on Saturday?
Not really. Couldn't catch a lot of the 10 o'clock window games, but
Mhm.
I will say, Tijani Reiner's probably one of the best Premier League debuts I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Um,
that's insane.
our Nepali brother, I know he's Dutch, but that man, I swear he's Nepali somehow.
Hmm. Yeah, he was crazy performance. And to think he only came in for like 55 mil, that's a steal. That's a Pep. staple player. I think we called it like he's gonna be he's like the perfect City player for Pep.
Yeah, and then Shirky too. He came in and
Hmm.
effortless that goal. But
Yeah, we just got a 2025 Pep. You got to move on from Bernardo Silva, making him captain too.
captain,
Yeah,
that's
that's
wild.
wild, wild.
But yeah, let's move on to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea boys. I thought we looked a little sluggish today. I think Gittins especially did not look sharp at all. He got the start.
I was surprised he even started, because I didn't think he really played much with y'all in the like preseason, did he?
He did, and he looked pretty
Okay.
sharp. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was expecting Stavo to start. He looked really good for us. So, but I mean, shout out to Palace for me. I'm a huge fan of Oliver Glasner. I think he's a brilliant coach. And if they can keep Eze and Gay, I think they're going to be a really dangerous team. But a big issue for me was just Palmer not being on the ball enough. I mean, he's our best player, one of the best players in the world. So, I mean, he barely touched the ball. And that's just like, it also goes to show like maybe we are missing someone like a Jao Felix or like a Xavi Simmons could come in. Um, and maybe drift Palmer to the right and he can kind of get the ball more. But like this, it just won't work out if he's not touching the ball enough.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought it was kind of like a. I think I texted you and Trey afterwards. It just seemed like a uh, out of sync, discombobulated, whatever that word. Just out of sync performance in general. Like you guys couldn't string passes. Like it was a lot of stopping. Like just wasn't clean. Like we saw in the Club World Cup, you guys looked really good, especially that PSG game. But this one, it just it's credit to Palace, uh, but also just like you guys just weren't able to put any passes together. Didn't really see many patterns of play, but I know you've mentioned before you don't really like Palmer in that middle anyways. You kind of like him out wide. Um, so
Yeah, and he kind of interchanged during the Club World Cup, and I was hoping maybe they do that today, but
mhm.
he kind of stayed in the middle of the park.
Yeah, but it was a bright spark when Estavo did come on. I know like right away he had that one cross that was like just a little too high for Pedro Neto, but um, his cameo definitely was a lot better than Gittins.
And I think Delap was a pretty good difference maker too, just adding a different.
Yeah, Pedro kind of had a stinker,
Yeah.
but it's I think just a one-off game. Um,
Yeah, now on the flip side, like I think Palace, like the front three were pretty quiet, but Mateta, he's a late bloomer, but he's solid. Like he holds up the play really well for Palace, relieves a lot of pressure. But I think Eze had a pretty good game too, and just the defense, the wing backs especially. I think all of those guys played really well.
I think the one player who was a little off of it was Ismail Sarr. It wasn't he had a bad game. It just his passes like he was just a bit like a step behind. There were a few times as they made really good runs in behind, but
Hmm.
get caught up offside because Sarr was just a little too late. But that's just gonna. He's still young. He'll keep develop. I mean, I think he's already developed really well under Glasner. So,
Oh yeah,
um, and Palace did get that free kick goal, but I think like off the replay, it was like the correct decision because Gehi kind of pushed Casado a bit.
hmm
Um,
but yeah, not many other takeaways from here.
and I think that first game is always going to be like a little just preseason. Yeah, you can kind of see how your team's going to look, but that first game is always going to be like a little. It's hard to judge off the first game of the Premier League game at
Yeah,
times. Um, so, uh, I mean, getting a tough matchup out the way, Palace will definitely cause problems to other teams.
yeah. Unfortunately, we had to face the strongest pass team, assuming as they leaves or something. So
Yeah, exactly.
would rather face them when don't
Hmm.
have them. But we can move on to I think the big time game for the weekend: United
Yes,
versus
sir.
Arsenal. 1-0 to Arsenal, but main takeaway for me was you guys really surprised me. I think definitely the better team today, and fortunate that you came out with the loss.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Just a goalkeeping blunder. Um,
You got to be stronger there. Like I get you being pushed slightly, but still, come on.
yeah, Bayender, like corners is one of his definitely weaknesses. We've seen it before where he got scored on Olympico. But if we just take that up to the side, I think overall, like I'm really happy and optimistic with how the season will be if this is the type of performance we're putting up. Um, I think Delit, his performance in the back went under the radar. I thought he played really well. Um, Dorgu was doing really well getting up. I think I'm not a huge fan of Dallo out there. I think Diallo kind of created a lot more danger.
Yeah, and you could see him and Embuemo had a pretty nice like partnership there.
Hmm. Um, Cunha, that performance was I was applauding him throughout the match. And then another person just got to give shouts out to is Mason Mount. I thought he had a really good game. Um, his switches, like switch of play, was like just on the money every time to Embuemo. And
I will,
like, go ahead.
yeah, to your point there, I think that was one thing in the first half. I thought you guys should have grabbed a goal or two from what Mount was doing and some of the threading the needles to Embuemo especially. Um, but I think Arsenal, to their credit, I think they did really well adjusting the second half, where you didn't see Embuemo having that much freedom and
Mhm.
space. I think Calafiori in the first half, he was pretty high and tucked in to the middle, and like that's why Embuemo was like had so much space. But I think Arsenal did well second half to kind of adapt there.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Um, what'd you think of? I was surprised Ben White got the start. Um, I was expecting Yuri and Timber to start, um, especially like with the stronger oppositions. Um, but instead, Ben White was given the nod. I thought he had a good game, but
You know me, I think Ben White's a better
mhm.
right back than Timber, and I think
Yeah,
that's
we always had that
his
debate.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Odegaard, I thought he was kind of quiet. He had like he had like maybe a flick or two that were like kind of dangerous. The one towards the end to Saka when like time was pretty much out, but I thought he was pretty quiet throughout the game. That's another player Arsenal really need to step up. Um,
I think Saka was even quieter than him.
yeah, Saka was pretty quiet. He's gonna shut down today.
Oh yeah. I think Odegaard though, you saw glimpses of him like his old self. I think last season was really just a blimp.
Hmm.
Uh I really think that injury took it out of him, but I do think he's gonna be back to his levels this year.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
just feel it.
we'll have to see. And then another player on the starting lineup, we kind of touched on the last episode, but Jokeris just slightly rusty, slightly off of it. But I mean, first game, um, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But he was their big money signing. Um, off
Yeah, I
the
think
Go
real
ahead.
quick, you touched on Cunha, you were like applauding him. I do think both him and Embuemo had a pretty good game, but um it just goes to show like, in the past you guys have relied so much on just I guess like Pogba, but I mean really just Bruno. It's like
Hmm.
if he has a poor game, y'all have a poor game. I guess Diallo kind of saved y'all a few times last year, but I'm talking about like kind of for years now it's been Bruno's show, but like it's nice now that like you have these two guys that can kind of create magic themselves.
Hmm.
And I do think Bruno had kind of a one of his poorer games today.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely was quiet. and just not much impact. Um, but it's crazy to see how deep he gets to like start to play. He starts like way deep. Um, One person though, gotta talk about Manuel Ugarte. Gosh, that cameo he had, disaster class. I think he was trying to show Ineos why we need to get Believa in there or something. Because I don't know what that cameo was. The one like pass back he had blindly. He
Seemed
thought he was
like one of
passing to Harry
those.
Maguire. I was like, what are you doing?
He seemed like he like when you're off coming off the bench, like he might have been like sleepy or something. He looked sleepy.
He looks super sleepy. And then like every time he got the ball, it's like I think it's just he's just not comfortable on the ball, like spazzing out, like just in a hurry to get rid of it. Um, and then Sesko, he didn't really do much as well, but like the one good play he did have was like the link up where he kind of got a back heel, controlled it and back heeled it, and like set Ugarte had tons of space, and I was like, all right, just play it out wide or something. And just man decides to rip a shot. I'm like, yo. So Casemiro, I think he got the job done, but at this age, he's not. You can't rely on Casemiro. So
Yeah, I don't know how much today though was like y'all play. I think y'all did play well, but like how much of it also is just Arsenal had a bad day or didn't play well.
yeah, I think it's a combination. Um,
And even Sesko, he came in, he didn't have much of an impact, but I do what I think it helped with is Cunha. I think he looks better not playing. He can play the striker role, but what you think about him from the left versus like as a striker?
Cunha.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of like him at the 10 just because like sometimes he can come a bit further back to collect the ball, and we saw like sometimes him just like carrying the ball like through the entire defense. It was like crazy, but I feel like the striker role he's not. I mean, he can still get the job done to your point, but he feels like he's just more suited for that one of the 10 roles on the left.
Yeah, I feel like you're definitely handicapping some of his like
Yeah.
yeah, abilities. Yeah.
Um, But yeah, it's just also hard though when I saw Ugarte come on and then just seeing
This man's still harping on Ugarte.
and seeing Mainu on the bench, I was like, just because I just love Mainu. Like I think he's like the future for us. Like got to build around and like Amarit. I know it's only one game in, but like before the season, Amarit said he had big plans for Mainu, so I thought Mainu would possibly get a few minutes in, but like got none and. Ugarte getting playing time before him, I was like, ah.
Yeah, I was a little shocked by that one that
hmm
he didn't make an appearance.
Yeah. And then I think also like Xerxes, I think he didn't really come on because obviously got Sesko when I gave him minutes, but then also like he's still working through fitness. But I think with Cunha and Embuemo, Xerxes, like sometimes when he does get a play, maybe versus like weaker oppositions, that'll be an interesting fit as well.
Hmm.
Because then with the three of them, they can kind of interchange.
You kind of saw it today with Embuemo and Cunha too in the first half, where they kind of swapped down the middle and down the right at times. But yeah, very PSG-esque.
hmm Um,
But positive note, Mount, like even him, he looked pretty good. And like it's nice you don't have to rely on like Sheshko having to start strong. You can play Cunha and put Mount there too.
oh yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, Mount was. We saw glimpses of old Mount, um, old 2021 Chelsea Mount. So
Mhm.
hopefully he keeps that up because Amarin definitely favors Mount a lot. Gives him a ton of minutes. And it just kills me when I do look at Twitter though. At times, when people compare Emblemo to Hazard, because you know what?
Yeah, big bum.
Yeah. Oh man. Um, but yeah, crazy. Premier League is officially back.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I think craziest result of the weekend, probably just Sunderland, convincing win. I know they were your overachievers, so good to see them back in the league.
And I think next week and following weeks when we cover kind of league games, we'll cover more than just the Premier League
Hmm.
here and there from Serie A and Liga and La Liga. But yeah, just wanted to keep this one Premier League focused.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess games to watch, I'll cover kind of the Premier League games, and if you want to cover the rest of the world, if that
Yeah.
works.
Hmm.
Um, Tomorrow Leeds Everton play. So we Everton had a pretty good transfer window in my opinion. They got Jack Grealish too.
Mm.
So will be interesting to see how they line up and Jai too, like him, Grealish, so and Dwight McNeil. So I don't know. Everton's kind of a sleeper team too. And then so next game week we have West Ham versus Chelsea on Friday. Hate the weekday games, man. Why can't we play on the weekend? And then Saturday morning we got City Spurs at the Etihad. It's a big clash there. Um, we've got Burnley versus Sunderland in the 10 o'clock window. We'll see those two promoted teams going at it. And then we have Arsenal hosting Leeds. Sunday, we have 11:30 window again. We have y'all traveling to Craven Cottage, playing Fulham. And then Monday, we have the big one, Newcastle versus Liverpool. We'll see what happens with Isak. I'm sure that will be kind of the hot topic conversation leading up to the game, but it's kind of the big one there.
Um, Rest of the world, we got Friday. I don't know why they do these Friday games. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich versus Leipzig. Saturday, we've got Saturday games are okay. I think the one to watch will be really Serie A. We got Sassuolo versus Napoli, and then Ligue 1, we got Marseille versus Paris FC. I may or may not be tuning into the English League Championship now that Wrexham is in there.
Forgot about that. They had an epic first game.
Seems like it, but they lost their like big money signing already, Kiefer Moore.
Oh,
I
what
think
happened
he
to
got a
him?
hammy at his old age. And then Sunday, again, the games are kind of dry around the world. Real Sociedad, Espanyol in La Liga. In Serie A, we got Como versus Lazio. And then in Ligue 1 over in France, we've got Lille versus Monaco. So that will wrap up that week. And then, unfortunately, after that, it will go on to international break already. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game changing super subs, and drop takes hotter than a derby day. If you enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe and drop us a rating and share the podcast with your friends and family. But until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.